Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Real Get to the Chopper. I'm your host Andy Godoy, and today I am back with another fan commentary. So today I'm going to be doing one of my favourite films ever. It's pretty much where the name of the podcast comes from. I'm doing a film called Predator. Yep, we know it and we all love it, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as the man himself who's being hunted by that predator. And obviously he sort of does that famous line, "Get to the Choppa," which is where the name of the podcast came along from. So anyway, yeah, this is an absolute classic. It's an absolute one of my favourite films. I never saw it as a kid in the cinema because I was far too young. First watched it on VHS, but I'll tell you more about that story as the film goes along. As always, what I will do, I'll do a little countdown, then you guys can sort of like press it when I say so. The podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm also releasing them now also on YouTube as well. So big special shout out goes to Hayes Payne, Damian Sayers, James Burch, and all the wonderful people at the Get to the Chopper Facebook group. And with that then, after the count of 3, 2, 1, press play. Hold up, no, start again. 3, 2, 1, press play. Right, here we go. So the film's starting. Apologies if I'm munching away on crisps, but I'm a little bit peckish. Now, I forgot to mention, I'm watching the 4K version. Luke recently got himself the 4K version. I've got the 4K version already. So I think he wanted me to do this one. So I'm more than happy to do this one. It's one of my favourite films, like I mentioned before. From the get-go, it's a 5 out of 5 film. There we go. Commentary done. That's all you need to know. Yeah, so this intro coming here, very similar to the film The Thing. I'm thinking maybe we didn't quite need it. I do like, whenever the name Schwarzenegger appeared back in the 80s, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be an instant classic. And I love that music. So here we go, a space setting. And like I said, very similar to The Thing. Spaceship comes along, flies, releases something into Earth. Nice special effects, all practical. Now, I will be doing, somewhere down the line, Predator Badlands. I might do it before I watch Predator 2 and, Predators on, then again, you never know. I might do the other ones. See how it floats my boat. Love that music. Carl Weathers, rest in peace. Absolute legend. Can certainly pull off a mustache. Bill Duke. Jesse the Body Ventura. Sonny Landham. Now, let's talk about the 4K version here. The Blu-ray version apparently was very waxy. It looked very like it had been DNR'd. It had been like it scrubbed, cleaned up too good. And the colours didn't quite feel right. I've got the Blu-ray, so this is my first time watching it on 4K. There he is, Carl Weathers. Check out the guns. Guy was just like an absolute unit, always just looked in tip-top shape. Sorry guys, I'm munching away. I'll try and do that away from the microphone. Love these guys, so damn cool. There's Arnie. Smoking a cigar. Or a stogie, like he likes to call them, I think. Love that red polo. The music's epic. Now, what I love about the creature effect by Stan Winston, what I like about this film, the particular 4K version, is it's got film grain. Kind of looks like you're watching this film in a cinema. So you've got all that detail. It looks like a film shot in the 80s. very gritty. And I like that about films. There are all the villagers looking, watching what's going on while these guys, tough guys, head to where they got to go. So a quick story then before I give you some facts about this film then. So watched this when I was about 10 or 11 years old. My friend Noel said, you've got to watch this film. It's one of Arnie's best films. I said, what's it about? And he told me. Oh, before anything, I want to talk about this guy here. Now, apparently the director, John McTiernan, who directed this film, which just popped up there, really wanted this guy to play this role. But this guy was quite old and looks a little bit more older than he should be for the character. But they liked the guy. So what they did, put a bit of tan on him just to make him look a little bit younger. And you know what? Looks like he did the role perfect. Never doubted his age or anything like that. Looks like a badass as well. Yeah, so anyway, my friend said, you got to watch this film. It's about, like a creature taking out, like a monstrous creature taking them out one by one in the jungle. And I'm like, oh no, I can't watch it. It's too scary. And it was one of the films that set me up from getting used to gore and then going down that road where I started watching 18 films, action, horror, and then I just fell in love with this sort of genre and the horror genre as well. That's a man's handshake. So yeah, I mean, although Arnie had worked in a couple of films, he was still seen as a pretty new, like inexperienced actor. And previously before this, he had done like Commando, he had done Conan. So the roles, what he had to do was somewhat more limited. Here he had a lot more speaking, he had to show a lot more range. So they thought, why not partner him up with a more experienced actor like Carl Weathers? And again, Carl Weathers is a phenomenal actor. I mean, he worked with Stallone in the Rocky films, but he's a good actor, especially in Happy Gilmore. You can just see the little looks. Now, this is one of the films where every time I watch it, I spot something new. It's like Arnie knows there's something not quite right. I've got to try and convince him to go on this mission because he's not a mercenary. So yeah, apparently they all, as the film goes on, you see them all get a little bit skinnier and they all look a bit really sweaty, not just because of the weather conditions, but it's because they all got some sort of illness as well. So they're all, using the toilet or being sick or whatever. So they lost quite a lot of weight and then also obviously fluids. So that's why they look a little bit different towards the end. Love this. Obviously, the guys from Gears of War were inspired by these guys. This is like the most macho film ever, honestly. This film can just watching it makes you grow a beard. Full of testosterone. Love this guy with his joke. Oh, I forgot what the name of the writer guy who stars as this guy here who does the comedy. Shane something. Love it. I love them flying through the jungle like that. It's incredible. Love the music. I love the pace of this film. It just shows you how badass they actually are. I love this guy. What's his name? Shane something. It'll come to me. Not quite impressed or doesn't quite get it. Big as a house. But yeah, so he was like one of the writers, so it was great to have him there because he could change the script when, as if when they needed to. So if they ever needed to change a scene or add something to it, he was always there to change. Love it. And there's Jesse, the body Ventura, the governor. But for me, I always know more from the wrestling from, he was always one of the best commentators. Obviously, I'd known that he was like a wrestler. But for me, he was always like one of the best commentators ever. And recently, he's been coming back doing the Saturday night's main event. He actually wanted to unionize the wrestling, but apparently Hulk Hogan blabbed on him. And again, guys, I am watching this on a 120 inch screen. I've got my headphones on, my Sennheiser HD something. And the sound's really, really good. I feel like I'm part of this. I feel like I'm part of these guys without the muscles. So yeah, this was probably my second or third Arnie film. Obviously, I'd seen Conan because that was on TV. Commando I'd seen from the video shop. It was just a little bit more generic. This felt more real, even though it's got sci-fi element to it, whereas Commando was just like, I didn't quite understand like all the killing and everything like that. Now when I watch things like that, I think it's a bit more, I don't know, harsh. It's like up until I watched Saving Private Ryan, I always thought shooting in films was quite cool and fun. And then that really brought me to the reality of what war and killing is all about. I just didn't quite understand it. Now, I love the music. I think it's done by, is it Alan Silvestri or something like that? All the sound design is fantastic in this. Very primal. And again, all these guys are the best of the best in the field. There's no one better than these guys. So this is why we see them in action in a little bit. And you think, God, these guys are unstoppable. But they do start getting taken off one by one. Now, I do love Predator 2. I like Predators. I didn't like The Predator. I mean, it was watchable, it's very forgettable. Prey, I absolutely loved. And Predator Badlands, I'm a little bit... I will get it, but this is going from an 18, and it's quite horrific, certain things with the skinless thing and the blood and whatever. And whereas Predator Badlands is being Disneyfied to a certain extent from what I've heard. And it's not got real blood, alien blood. And it feels more like a Star Wars type film now, very action. And again, you need something different. And I enjoyed the animated TV series as well, Killer of Killers, which was pretty good. There's one of the choppers. Now, I do want to say around this time then, obviously, like I really got into this film. Love the music just in the background, so subtle. Hmm. Now, when Billy's talking about all this and he says 12 gorillas, I actually thought he was talking about actual gorillas, like apes. Didn't think he was actually talking about sort of like soldier type guys. Would have been a very different film. But yeah, around this time then, obviously I got really into the film, and I also had a ZX Spectrum, which was like the main sort of computer over here in the UK. Obviously there was the Amstrad and Commodore 64. But all the cool kids had the Specky, and it was affordable, and you could get games for $1.99, $2.99, and full price games. And around the time then, pretty much every movie had a tie-in game. So you had Predator, and it's one of those games that I wanted to like, but it was pretty much unplayable. It really wasn't that great at all, unfortunately. I don't think we've actually ever really had a good Predator game. Maybe Predator 2, Concrete Jungle, whatever it was called. Actually, I'm lying. What am I talking about? You got Alien versus Predator. That's really good. I know there was a Predator game on the NES. Played that years and years and years later. It's like a really bad platform game. Now, apparently this actor here, is it Sonny Langdon? He was a bit of a psycho, really quite a tough guy. So they brought security onto the set to make sure that he didn't cause trouble and have any sort of like outbursts. I think he fully behaved himself though. Now, can you imagine remember seeing this as a kid? But when I saw it, again, didn't see it in the cinema. Saw it on a CRT TV. So very, not focused, very sharp. Like just not the full size screen. But it was still quite, like, oh, and Jim Hopper. Stranger Things. Stranger Things, obviously set in the 80s, and they get inspired by lots of things from the 80s culture, from people's names to people's fashion from certain films and so on. Really? I love the bromance of those guys. You're like best buddies. And I love that Billy's, like a Native American. He's got that ancestry, which obviously, years and years and years later, we got the film Prey. Hey, is that old painless? And the first time I saw this, I was like, what the hell? What is going on? The Predator Vision on the ZX Spectrum game weren't too bad because the ZX Spectrum had color clash. So when it went to the Alien Vision, it looked quite interesting. Terrible game though. And I just love the fact they're being watched. I would have loved to have watched in the cinema, gone in blind, not knowing what the hell I was coming into, just knowing that I was going to watch a Narni film. I would have just been, my mind would have just been blown away. I love this line that's about to be delivered. I'll bleed you. Bet that ghosting you bit is fantastic. They all look like such badasses. And there we go, the village of the baddies. Now, while this is all going on, oh, I forgot, like the hostage kill here is quite gruesome. And again, all done practically with sort of what they're called, not squids, whatever they're called, where the blood pack thing just shoots off them from the back. It's all activated and then it shoots off. Looks quite real, and now it would just be done with really bad CG. This bit here, horrific. Love the music. Look at these guys, like ninjas, just going down there. Can't even hear the leaves go. Shane Black, that was the name of the guy, you know, the writer that played the comedian, who also I think directed The Predator. Really bad film. Ooh, close. And here we see just like how badass these guys are. Masters of their art. Real killers. And we can see why the Predator chose these guys. This is before they all had the name the Yautja. It was just, you know, the creature. Speaking about creature designs, so originally they were going to go for some sort of like weird insectoid type creature. It was a man in a sort of like weird lobster red type suit which would then get coloured out to sort of like be see-through sort of thing. But the actor that did that was a young Jean-Claude Van Damme. He thought he was getting like a big starring role. He was going to be seen more. And unfortunately, no. And then he ended up quitting. And story goes, apparently, that they weren't happy with the way the alien creature was going to look like. And then I think John McTiernan was with James Cameron, I think, on a plane somewhere. They're having a conversation. And then they talked about this design that he had in mind. And, inspired each other really to come up with a look that Stan Winston... Was it Stan Winston was there? I can't remember exactly. This used to impress me so much as a kid. I was thinking, how strong is this guy? Back when I was a kid, I used to love watching strongmen contests. And when I saw this, I was thinking, oh my God, Arnie's like a strong man, super strong. So for me, growing up, I grew up watching stuff like the A-Team, where no one really died. People would get shot or bullets or rolls miss. And then you'd watch something like this and you'd be like, Jesus Christ, people are on fire. People are getting killed left, right and center. This big explosion that's quite terrifying. I was like, oh my God. See what I mean? Man, that's impressive. That's brutal. Guy on fire. That's something they don't really do nowadays. Again, just CGI it. I miss the good old days where you'd set someone on fire. And again, you'd destroy a whole set. And a helicopter as well. Now it's all CGI. Back in my day, eh? Damn. It kind of feels like a scrolling beat 'em up, but the way they're just shooting everyone, people are just coming out, they're getting shot. This is what really inspired like Gears of War, just the non-stop macho action over the top. And it's something I feel like the Predator games, especially the 3D ones, lacked or were missing, was this level of badassery, you know. Stick around. Love all the one-liners. Knock, knock. I forgot about that one. Oh, I can't wait to do more Arnie films. I think this is the first one I've actually done for the podcast. There's loads I want to do eventually. Stuff like Conan, want to do Commando, but my favourites, other ones are stuff like The Running Man, Total Recall. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. It's like that slap with the butt of the gun, isn't it? I love all the catchphrases. Ain't got time to bleed. Got time to duck. Here we go. Coming up. And it does make me think that, this film really did benefit by having Shane Black in the thing with them, because he could always help them out if they needed to change a line because of the line didn't work, or just help them improvise. Not many guys could shove around Carl Weathers like that, could they? Love it. Arnie really sort of going toe to toe there with him acting wise. Damn. And obviously, the Expendables, the films came out many years later with Stallone and a bunch of other tough guys. I'm a little bit offended they never asked me to be part of the group. Oh, it looks like he did have time to bleed. He's all bandaged up. Love it. Really breaks up this, the scenes. Now, seeing, all these guys all muscled up and looking very massive, there was a little bit of a machoism, sort of like a bit of a sort of like trying to sort of macho each other between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura. Depending on who you talk to, the story varies. One of the stories that Jesse Ventura would say is just like, he would literally sort of ask the wardrobe crew, like what size thingy's arms were for his shirt or whatever, and they would give him the size, and then all of a sudden, like it turned out that Jesse Ventura had bigger sort of like size, but when they would compare muscles, Arnie's would be bigger. It was like false information. They would wind each other up. Like one would say, yeah, I'll meet you at the gym at say 6 a.m. And the other guy would have just literally got there about 10 minutes beforehand, splashed lots of water around on them. And then, I love this joke. But there we know that he's recording things. So you're thinking, how is he doing all this? Really adds to what the creature can do. But anyway, so they would sort of like get to the gym. Say Arnie would show up and he'd be like, oh, how long have you been here? And I was like, oh, I've already been here an hour working out. So they're constantly trying to outdo each other. This is where I think we get the first proper glimpse of him. This is Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude in a tree. And obviously, you know what? It worked out for the best in the long term. Everything worked out. We got a creature design more like what we needed to see. Jean-Claude became, you know, the megastar in other films like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Universal Soldier. And that's not the reason why I'm doing this film instead, because I was meant to be doing Universal Soldier, but the film I've ordered before Christmas still hasn't arrived. Love how haunting that is. Now he's picked up the scorpion there, but imagine he accidentally stung himself. Would he? Maybe he's got antidote, who knows? Or maybe he's just very clever. I wouldn't accidentally, you know, get himself stung by it. Oh, the music's so epic. Honestly, watching this in 4K, guys, this film, to me, has never looked better. Like I said, I've watched this film on TV, on VHS, Blu-ray, DVD, Blu-ray, and this is the best, you know, I can imagine this is what it would have looked like in the cinema. Love how green. Maybe I might be mistaken, but I'm sure at some point they didn't have enough greenery, so they would have to sort of like throw in extra greenery for certain scenes just to make it look more like a jungle. But again, I mean, look at that view there. They've got to be somewhere quite. I think was it filmed in Mexico somewhere, even though it's meant to be doubled over for sort of like South America somewhere. Not quite sure. Love their friendship. I'd be a bit worried though, like, you know, like you've got like these open wounds and stuff like that, and if it gets infected, which always takes me back to Mac. We haven't seen him do it yet, but he starts doing it when he gets a bit nervous. He starts shaving, and I'm thinking, why would you start dry shaving in the middle of the jungle? Easy infection could happen. The Spanish is sort of somewhat worse than mine, where it's very English sounding. I don't know if he actually spoke Spanish or whether he's just reading the lines. Because like I speak Spanish, but it's more my second language, so I speak it, but I speak it with an English accent. So it sounds good when I'm speaking, you know, and people hear me, they'll be like, oh, wow, you speak Spanish. But then when people that speak Spanish hear me, they'll be like, oh, you've got an accent. You sound English. But there are a few sort of translation mistakes here and there. Love this scene where Billy basically is aware that something's there. Look. Man, just staring into the nature, you know, into the green abyss, the green inferno. Oh, man, do you see those arms? Jesus Christ, the guy's a beast. Speaking about Green Inferno, Eli Roth. Oh my God, that's one film that just I had to turn off. I mean, I'm pretty good when it comes to horror films, but I thought that was just more gross. For some reason, I just can't do those films like with cannibals. I struggled with Cannibal Holocaust. Don't think I could watch it now. Well, yeah, he was a Mr. Universe. You can tell. I mean, look at those arms. Even though he's not as big there as the way he used to be, he's a bit slimmer here. But I mean, again, look at him. I know a lot of people complain about Adrian Brody in Predators, but you know what? You'd got another big muscly guy, it wouldn't have been the same. I like the fact that he's there. It just gives it something different. Just like the way, you know, the hero from the second film. Love the sounds. Good acting on her part there. Oh, that had to hurt. I mean, where'd you go? The jungle all looks the same. I suppose she's just trying to sort of like run away from them. But I'd think you'd be safer with them than out in the wild. I mean, you don't know what other wild creatures are out there, you know. And I'm not just talking about some big cats. I'm talking about sort of like snakes or bugs or frogs as well. Love it. Now, obviously, the whole invisible thing, I feel the effects of the time look so much better then than they do now, because it seems a little bit different, more like, what is it now? Whereas when they do it now, you'd be like, oh yeah, transparent effect. There, it's like it's blocking the light and light's reflecting off it. It does it differently. But even though that was limitations, but I feel like it worked better. Man, the score on this is amazing. Just the atmosphere. I would literally be pooing myself. Ugh. Yep. And Hawkins as well is from the town from Stranger Things. Mm. Gotta admit, the 4K is really good. You can really see all the skin tones and like the sweat and just, again, oh, here. Woman, what happened? What is it you saw? What was it? Tell me, woman. Tell me. The jungle took him. She's not sure. It's not exactly what she said. She didn't say it came alive. She said the jungle took him. The realization that it's something else. And this is what I love about films. It immortalizes people forever. Look, I love his MTV thing, Jesse Ventura's t-shirt. You know, Jesse Ventura looking all sort of like muscular, manly. Arnold Schwarzenegger looking young, like this amazing sort of like soldier type guy. And there will always be like that in our memory when I think of Arnie or Jesse Ventura. Well, actually, I also imagine him sort of like wearing his sort of like a boa type furry, fluffy things that and weird sunglasses and bandanas from, you know, WWF days. Just love the slow pan. I love Jesse Ventura also in The Running Man. It's Captain Freedom. Old Painless. The little hedgehog or porcupine type thing. He's spotted. It's like, what would you do? You see this? Now, another interesting fact, the costume that they used was, obviously it was like a red sort of like bug crab looking like creature. In the film, in the film Predators, there's a scene where there's like a giant bug creature running off, and it was a homage to this costume here. Obviously that one wasn't red or anything like that. It looked more like a bug creature than this, but yeah. This scene must have been so much fun to do. I mean, they took out a whole forest, a whole jungle, I should say. I love it. I don't know what he's saying. I love it. Love that. Look at that. It's just run out of bullets. The silence. It's crazy to think the Predator films are still going on all these years later. No, I think my cousin had a poster of Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator, or it's from that scene. I don't think it was that scene. Good God. How sweaty he is. All of them just absolutely fantastic in their roles. From every look, reaction, just standing there. And that was his best friend, man. You can imagine they'd been through some wars, and here for the first time we see like the Predator blood. And I think they used the from those glow sticks, the liquid inside them. Could be mistaken, but I'm sure I read somewhere or heard somewhere that's what it was. They're all setting little traps. I say little, but dangerous traps that would kill most people. They're getting ready for something. They know something's there. My friend. I suppose, you build these friendships when you do go through so much together in the sort of line of fire or however you want to call it. And this music here. His best buddy's dead. They had like a mutual respect for each other. And sometimes you need, someone like that to just keep you sane in the worst sort of times. And I love these emotional beats in this film. It adds to the film, and the story of what's going on. It gives the film a bit of heart. And again, the music, like I said, just works so well. Now, really, she should sort of mention it to the guys. By the way, I've got It's Blood All Over My Hands. This is where we see it materialize for the first time. And you're like, oh my God. And this is what I want to talk about. I don't know if it's been pointed out in podcasts or YouTube videos. And just generally, whenever you see a weird alien creature, monster creature that's really advanced, but check out its claws. How do you handle small particular things and little, how do you do all the intricate things when you've got like massive fingernails like that? It's got to be so hard. Yeah, remind him. I am really amazed by this 4K. Well, yeah, and this guy's an expert, and he did all that shooting. He knows that nothing could have survived, but whatever it was escaped. So he's scared, and you can't blame him. What happened, woman? What was it you saw? Told you what I saw. The jungle took him. What more do you want me to say? If Billy's scared, he's a tough guy that, like, is never afraid of anything. Kind of like my friend Damian Sayers. He's the Billy of the group. If you're listening to this, Damian, I just compared you to Billy. What an action hero. Honestly, the 80s were just epic and amazing. The name Schwarzenegger, the name Stallone, the name Van Damme all meant something. God, look at him. He's just so shiny. He's just like, it's like the sweatiest man ever. Saying that though, that was like me once. Once when I went to Hong Kong and just wandering around, and I'd have to sort of hide in the shops where they had aircon, and if I didn't, I was sweating like that. I was practically melting. Here we go. Something's there. Love this bit. You gotta laugh. But you can also understand his frustration. You want revenge for his friend getting killed. He's angry, feels frustrated. They're scared. They're in the jungle in the dark. What's going on? It's got to be scary being in the jungle back in the... It's starting to make sense to Arnie now that this person or this thing has got rules and it's coming together. But yeah, guys, I'm absolutely loving doing these film commentaries. Got loads more coming up over the next, well, I've got pretty much every week on a Sunday. It's a release schedule. I'll be doing a film, and then on a Wednesday, I'll be doing a TV series like Ulysses or The Real Ghostbusters. When the big man was killed. There's like a really good opera style YouTube video, When the Big Man Was Killed. It's like an opera of Predator. I would share it on the podcast, but YouTube and Spotify and whatever else is so thingy about me using copyrighted sounds that I can't. It makes life so much more difficult. Just look at everyone. There's just like muscle on top of muscle. Now, again, I love Predator 2. I really enjoy it. I think it's a worthy sequel. It's a very different film. But you know what? Regardless, I love it. You know, the creature in this is a jungle hunter. The second one, it's a city hunter versus Danny Glover. And I thought Danny Glover was cast perfectly in that. Really believable. Now here it's like, why are you shaving? Dry shaving or sweat shaving? That's got every chance of getting infected. I just love the silence. Dylan staring at him. Oh, got a bit of plastic there on him as well. They should have so put Mac on the Gillette Mac razor advert. Scary. Just that quiet. Something's there. That's the thing. It's like I've got to try and get used to. I think I was watching Critters the other day, and I got so involved. I think I must have just not said anything for about 10 minutes. I was just watching the film, and I think it's because I hadn't seen the film for absolutely years, for nearly 20-something plus years. And I was just watching along. So I need to remember. Yeah, I think this was like from the post that my cousin had. Ooh, so close. Anytime now. We all know something's going to happen. Here we go. Gets caught. Damn. There we go. We see it. He sees it now. It's like, what the hell is this? I don't think you can. I'd be like that with a little splinter in my toe. So just you all know how it's going with me recording all these. I'm recording a whole bunch in advance. So I'm still recording this. It's New Year's Eve now. So obviously this will be the third film for the third week in January. He's lost it. Definitely lost it. I do wonder about the character design. When did it start being called Dioucher? Was it like when the comic came out? Was it when the second film came out? Over here. I wonder if he peed himself. He sees it. Love the music in this film. Yeah, this will be the last one I record for today. I'm going to try and squeeze in another one tomorrow. I think tomorrow, what have I got planned? I was hoping to do Universal Soldier, but I don't think I will have time. I'll definitely be doing The Real Ghostbusters. But next up, let me have a look at my list. Oh, I love those little laser dots. Dread 3D. So what I'll do in the morning, I will get up, charge my 3D glasses, and Dread's been sent to me by Hayes Payne and the 3D glasses, and he says it's one of those really good 3D films. I've only seen the film Dread once, and yeah, I just can't wait to see it. It's a film that definitely needs a sequel. I think the sequel's been greenlit, I hope. Man, I'd be absolutely terrified. But he's a man on a mission. He wants to avenge. He knows he's done wrong. He thinks he can sort this out. And he's a very capable man. You know, like him back in the day with Arnie, like the story goes that they went out and did things like that. Damn, you see that, you're like, oh crap. Now, here's an interesting part. Like, I think this has been edited. I know the Blu-ray had, and I think maybe the DVD had. But back on the day when it was TV and VHS, there's a bit here where Dylan gets his arm shot off. And as he spins around, you can see it's actually tucked in behind him. But I think that's changed. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. It might have not done. Oh, there he is, standing there. Hello. I see you. Love it. Love the effect there. It's almost like it was drawn on. Like, it's almost like a cartoon, you know, like effect. But I think that looks really good. I think that works well. It's almost like nightmarish, like a bad dream. You see the monster running. Yeah, it's definitely been edited out because in the original, like I said, you could see his arm was right there. Come on, Billy. I always thought Billy was going to put up more of a fight. It's like, something's out there. You guys need to really watch that Predator opera. It's really funny on YouTube. I might include the link on the podcast so that where you guys can watch it. But yeah, again, big special shout out to Hayes Payne, who suggested I do this film. Fantastic choice, Luke. You know, you've got great taste in films. And, what was brilliant was, like Luke even suggested I watch the film Drive from 1997 with Mark Dacascos. And I'd never seen that and thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't think I've, explained how much I absolutely loved that film. It was really good fun. I had a great time with it. Definitely need to watch it again. Maybe one day when Damien comes around, we can watch that. Come on, Billy. Goodbye, Billy. R.I.P. Billy. That. Oh, the side of the head. Damn. That has to hurt. How do you know where to go? There's no compass, no nothing. Again, he's just a natural born survivor. Love that bit. Reminds me of the ZX Spectrum games with the color clash. Being chased by the alien creature. Damn. Hell of a stunt. That's like really overwhelming. You don't know where he is. What's up? What's down? Is he catching his breath? Dipping in and out of consciousness. Obviously, it must be. Ooh, I'm letting out a big yawn. Not because I'm not enjoying the film, it's because I'm tired. Christmas and New Year definitely kicking my ass. Too much wonderful food that my good wife has cooked. I'd be worried about leeches, snakes, piranhas. God knows what else is in the water. Suppose that's more of a lake, river thingy, so it's more clean water. Whereas piranha, I think, are more river type creatures. Oh. There it is. Arnie is just like all covered in mud there, hiding his heat signatures there. Wonder if his skin was it was like one of those things that you go when you go to a beauty spa. He ended up with soft skin after this. One of the greatest, most fantastic creature designs ever. And I feel like that's what helped elevate it. The mask, the outfit, the costume. I know obviously as the films go on, the creature somewhat changes throughout most of the films. Obviously like these creatures are all adapt to the environment. This is the jungle hunter, then you've got the other one, which is the city hunter. I quite like the design of the more primal predator from the film Prey. Poor little creature. And off he wanders. The realization is that he can't see me. I was joking on one of my crisps that I was eating. That would be a horrible way to go. You'll hear me just be like, yep, he chokes on crisp while recording a podcast, The Predator. Again, I love this bit from here. The film really goes animal, primal. He's one with nature. He is a predator as well. They're going to have that face-off. One versus one. It does make me think, though, why did Arnie think that the creature would give him some time to prepare? Does he think the creature will be preparing itself? They will be battling at night? How did this happen? I mean, if I was the predator, I'd be like, this is when I get him, when he's preparing all his weaponry. But I suppose it wouldn't be a fun sport. Want to give him every opportunity he can. The strength just to do that. This music is epic. Ooh. There's my trophy. Some great sort of like muscle flexing shots there. Ouch, that looks like it's very sharp and deadly. The music is just so intense and dramatic and building up the tension of this upcoming battle between the Predator and Arnie. Yep, apply the mud for badassery, not just for skincare. Here we go. Light up the torch to say I am ready. Here I am. Let's get the show on the road. Rah! Here we go. Right. Here we go. More of the Predator. The fire looks really good in 4K. Damn good stunts there, from flicking from tree to tree. There's so much going on, it's kind of hard to somewhat do commentaries on it because you're watching what's going on. I do remember this bit here. It sneaks up behind him, but he's not quite aware that it's there, and he's not aware until you can hear the steps behind him. Here we go, spring into action. All you can see is the whites of his eyes. Well, I suppose that would have a seat signature unless you close your eyes. Here we go. The fight begins. Love this bit. Boom. It's injured it now. He's firing back a bit blind, but that's a hell of a weapon, the plasma cannon, shoulder cannon. I just love the design of the Predator. It's beautiful. So iconic. Not just that, it's like the equipment he's got and like the weaponry, the costume, the overall look. Love that animation. Again, very cartoony, sort of light blue lightning, sort of electronic short circuiting effects. Even though this is like the older film out of the Predator films, I love the Predator vision. I love the way it looks like when it's cloaked. It just looks more believable, like the way something like that would work or it's working and is. Oh, there we go. What do you do, man? Yep, you hide under a log. Oh yeah, I forgot he's got his arrows. I love the way it just zooms in. Mm-hmm. See the blood, so he's definitely thinking, you know what? It's injured. If I can make it bleed even more, then yeah, I can kill it. If it bleeds, we can kill it. If it bleeds, we can kill it. The tension, it's right there behind him. Oh, damn. Quite a good explosion there. It's really quite blinding. Oh, that didn't look like it was meant to happen. Where he grabs onto the branch and he falls down. I love this bit. Just the way it just goes over his head. That bit, damn. It just shows how big he is. I love the way it's very CRT effect. You don't really realize how much of a CRT effect it is with the scan lines when it's in Predator Visions, but it is. I love this. The Predator's about to say, look, you've been a formidable opponents, I should say. Let's do this man to man, mano a mano. And just remember the great reveal of what was underneath that mask. Yep. He goes, look, I'll fight you. And he's thinking, I know what you're trying to do. But you think, you know what, you stand more of a chance without all the weaponry. Here we go, a lovely slow reveal. And the visions like that. I love that line. Love that line. And again, the Predator face hasn't looked the same all right since this film here. I don't like the way the Predator looks in Predator Badlands. I've only seen it on trailers and stuff like that. Now, I forgot to mention the guy that plays the Predator also played the Predator and Predator 2, also played Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. I think he was a former basketball player at some point. He also appears at the end of the film, not as a Predator, but as the pilot of the Choppa. You'll see him. Something Peter Hall, I think his name is. Damn. Jesus Christ, every punch, every blow, it's got to hurt. I've got to admit, the Predator mask looks really good in 4K. The whole costume does, everything. This fight scene here looks epic. It's a hell of a set. This bit here looks like it is a set, but it's a great set for where they are. Just the slow walk, slowly chasing him, almost like a cat playing with its, prey, or like a little mouse. Oh, he's saying now, you know what? Enough is enough. He's like, nope, I'm not going to kill you now. I want to take my sweet ass time. You've obviously got something down this way. I'll go this other way. But Arnie's a smart man. He's got traps everywhere. Here, there, and everywhere. Boom, kick that. Damn, that had to hurt. Predator's spine and everything is broken there. And this bit here, you're like, what the hell? I thought that was it. You keep on thinking it's over, but it's not. Things keep on happening. This is where you see it. Yeah, it's pretty much dying. What the hell are you? Is that what he says as well? Here we go. Now, how that works, this tech with the little buttons and stuff like that with the fingernails, I never knew. I love the little designs, the little graphics, the little lights beeping. And it's like when the creature starts laughing, that's when Arnie knows that, you know what? I'm going to get out of here. All that. It's not good news. The Predator thinking is like, well, I've had the last laugh. I'm going to blow myself up. You ain't getting away. But Arnie, It's got like cat-like abilities. God damn. And here we go, the helicopter. Now you'll see the actor that plays the Predator here. That's him there. And he's a really tall guy. He's like about what, 7'2", 7'4", something. I don't know if I would actually ever do Harry and the Henderson. I don't know if I ever liked that film that much. There was even a TV series as well of Harry and the Hendersons. And there he is. He's survived all that. He must be so damn relieved. The last survivor sees a chopper. I think I'd be crying. I'd be like, help me. Take me away. There's a general. There's, I can't remember what her name is. Anna. He is battered and bruised. And there we go. Predator. What an amazing film. 5 out of 5 for action, story, special effects. It just works well on so many different levels. The music, this fantastic. Now, this is one of my favorite things that should have been in all of the Predator films. The little reveals of them that with their names coming up there. Billy, Sonny Landham, Blaine, Jesse Ventura. I love that. Mac Belduke. Anna Elpida Carlio. And Carl Weathers. So yeah, I absolutely love this. And there is good old Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Dutch. I absolutely loved this film. I thought it was fantastic. I cannot wait to do Predator 2. I know it is in 4K now, so I'll probably buy the 4K. I'll probably just buy the Blu-ray of The Predator. There we go, Kevin Pete Hall as a Predator. For Predators, I'll probably get the 4K as well, even though I do own them on Blu-ray. I'll get them in 4K. I'll do that somewhere down the line. And again, guys, thank you very much for listening to me talk about these films. I have been Andy Godoy, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye from me.